Hey guys, it's Malon or Malonb, and I'm here to do an update. Let me start off with this first. I will be editing this video on my computer because I have some pictures to add in. So just FYI guys, by the time I upload this, my pattern for the cowl, this cowl should be live on Ravelry. Again, if you follow me on Instagram, I will be posting something that lets you know that it's live. It is a free pattern. I decided to name it the Obi Cowl, Obi Cowl. If you guys don't know the story about this cowl is, or how I came about making it, or the pattern, whatever. Well, back in the day, probably like years, maybe like 4 years ago. Yeah, like 4+ years ago, there was a group on Ravelry called Nerd something. Oh my gosh, what was that group called? Something about like nerdiness. And what they used to do is they used to have like this game kind of thing. You could win prizes for making things that are inspired by nerdy stuff. Of course, for mine, it was video games. And what I was doing is every time I beat a video game, I would make something inspired by it. And this was back in the day before my son was born. So I had time to play games, more games anyway, and I had time to actually beat them at a reasonable time and all that. Nerd Wars, there you go, that's the group, Nerd Wars. Anyway, more recently, I went back to check on the group. I think it probably has died down completely, unfortunately. It was an awesome group. I had the best time with them. But anyway, you got points if you made things inspired by your nerdy stuff. So this was actually inspired by a game that I beat back in the day then. And in the game, there are characters that wear kimonos. So if you guys are familiar with kimonos or not, they have this sash or belt that goes around the stomach area. And especially for the ladies anyway. To be honest, I don't know if guys wear them or not, or if there's a type for guys to wear. But for the ladies, usually they have some type of bow in the back holding the belt on. So this one's inspired by that, which is why I'm calling it Obi. From what I looked up, Obi is the sash or the belt itself. And since it was inspired by that, again, I thought it was a good name. So this pattern, again, is free. It should be live now. Since I'm uploading, or since I'm editing on my computer, I will be linking you guys below, like the links to the pattern itself. Definitely go check it out. And actually, you guys know I made a second one, right? Like the one that was with variegated yarn that I held double. Actually, I can't find it. I don't know if maybe I left it in the car. I didn't go look, or maybe my son hid it. I don't know. But for the pictures, for the pattern, that's why I just used this one because I couldn't find the other one. So that is one thing that is exciting. The other thing that I've completed finally, and so happy about is my son's jacket. And actually, I don't have it with me because he wore it to school today. I didn't think it through. I was thinking that, you know what, he'll wear it to school. I'll take some pictures so I can show you guys how it fits. And then I'll show it to you when I'm making a video. But obviously, of course, I don't have it. So, but you guys have seen it in the last few videos. So you guys know how it looks. You guys know the color, etc. You guys know how the sleeves are. And from I will post 2 pictures here, 2 or 3 pictures of my son wearing it. It fits him very, very well. I think, and you can tell from the pictures that I probably exaggerated on the length of the sleeves. So once he gets home, I will eventually, I don't know if it's going to be today, but eventually I may, undo some of those rows so it fits a little better. So I don't have to roll up quite as much. Again, you will be able to see from the pictures how long the sleeves actually are. But I mean, that's not such a big deal, right? It's pretty easy to just undo it and then just, cast off again. And you will see the kind of buttons I have, or that I used. Those actually were the only buttons I had enough of that fit the buttonhole very well. And those buttons I got from there's a website or an app called Wish, wish.com I guess is a website, and I use the app sometimes, and that's where I got those buttons from. What do you call? I don't even know the type of buttons those are. Is it like toggle buttons or something? I don't know. But anyway, I guess just FYI, somewhere else to look for relating yarny stuff. They do have some yarn there as well, but I never tried the yarn. And actually, you know what? The packet of buttons, I think it was 50 buttons for a pretty reasonable price. I think it was, I'm pretty sure, less than $5. So pretty reasonable, and they seem okay. But the only thing I noticed with them that's not that great is that, like, the inside of the little holes where you thread the thread or yarn or whatever, it's really rough. So the yarn, when I was putting them on, the yarn got caught in the little, like, the roughness of it, if you guys know what I mean. That's my only thing, but I mean, since they're on already, I don't have any issues with them. They seem to be working pretty well. What else, guys? Oh yeah, so let me just show you where I got the pattern from. The book is called Sweet Pickles, and I'll show you guys the one I did. Let me see. Is the hooded garter cardigan. It looks like this. I definitely think that because the nature of that garter stitch, you guys know garter stitch is very squishy, very warm. It's definitely more of a jacket as opposed to like a cardigan or a sweater. So that's what my son is using it as. It's a jacket to go out, to go to the car, and from the car to school, etc. So that's what he's gonna be using it as. It's a jacket because it's so thick. It's so, like, yeah, I think it's too hot to wear as an actual sweater. So other than that, I do have some I guess stuff to mention about the pattern. So via the pattern, of course, you work on the body, and then you have to put the sleeves together, and then you start working on the hood. Via the pattern, they have you Kitchener the sleeves, and Kitchener, like the top of the hood, closed. But I've done Kitchener stitch before, and it was, though, like not in garter stitch. And when I was doing the shoulders and all that stuff, I looked up videos on how to do that with garter stitch, but it took me, I guess I didn't have the patience for it, so I just did a three needle bind off for everything, like for the shoulders and for the top of the hood as well. I also did not, oh, you guys already know that I made the hood bigger than what the pattern called for. The pictures, I think my son is wearing the hood, so you guys will see it fits pretty well. What else? And obviously I made the sleeves. Oh, the sleeves I did make longer, like I said, obviously, but via the pattern, they also have you do, like, the end of the sleeves are still in garter stitch, but with a smaller needle, so it's a little tighter, I guess, around the wrist. I just used a regular bigger needle, the one you use for the whole body, just because I kind of already knew that I was going to be folding them back, and I didn't want it to be tighter for that reason, of course. And also the buttons, the buttonholes, like in the pattern, they give you like a distance of when to make the next one. They don't say, like, after 2 rows make a buttonhole. They give you, I think, a range between like 2 inches and 2.5 or something like that. So anyway, I did the buttonholes a lot closer. Well, not a lot closer, but I did them at about 1.5 inches as opposed to 2 or whatever the number in the book was. So I definitely ended up with more buttons than I guess the original pattern would call for. But I think it's all right. I mean, I just don't really like the look of when, like, the fabric is going like this, like it makes an 8, because the buttons are so far apart. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I will not be showing you. Maybe next time I'll show it to you, the final product. But otherwise, I mean, like I said, you guys have already seen it. You will see some pictures, or you have seen some already. So that is that. Just very excited that it's completed. Garter stitch is right now for me very boring, and it did kill my arm. to do it, but again, I just had to push through because I wanted it complete. So I will not be doing anything, you know, garter stitch, at least alone garter stitch, for quite a while. At least I don't think so. I have still been working on the pattern for next month, which you guys know is a crochet pattern. And I'm pretty sure one of my last videos, I don't know which one it was, I showed you guys a sneak peek, so you may have an idea of what it may or may not be. And yeah, that's pretty exciting. So working on that. Also, I have an item to show you guys that I don't think I've ever showed. I finished it, I'm pretty sure it was at least probably like 6 months ago I finished it, and I was unhappy with it. I'm still very unhappy with it. So I plan to unravel it and use a yarn for something else. So I made another cowl back in the day. Again, probably 6 months ago I made this. So it has garter stitch in the ends right here, and this is just stockinette stitch that I striped. As you can see, it does all this wonky stuff here. It's trying to bend back and all that, which is not, that was the main thing that I hated about it. I didn't like that at all. So that is why I'm going to be ripping it back. This is superwash, and you can definitely block this out, but realistically, you guys, as I've told you before, I don't block things. Yeah, I don't block things. I need things to be good, you know, as is, because I'm not gonna spend the time to block it. I don't have much time to spend doing that. So this is definitely a no and like an ew kind of thing for me, which is probably why I didn't show it. But anyway, I will be unraveling it and then using the yarn for something else. I do not know if I want to make another cowl, if I want to design another cowl. And this, I didn't use a pattern. It was just, like I said, simple seed stitch in the ends here, beginning and end, and then just stockinette with stripes in the middle. So, I mean, no real pattern needed, right? So again, I don't know if I'm going to be making a pattern. I don't know if I will be looking up or finding a pattern to use to make something. But if anything, I think I would want to make some kind of cowl or whatever. And also, I do have some yarn left as well. Also, maybe some fingerless gloves. Fingerless gloves are my favorite. And I've made like many throughout the years, but I think I've lost one, you know, one here and there. So I have like one odd one, and then they get lost because I don't use it. And I just kind of push them aside, which is sad. So anyway, this yarn actually is yarn I had dyed quite a while ago. If you guys have followed me for a while, or then you would know that back in the day, we're talking about maybe like 5 years ago or something like that. I don't even remember how long it's been. Definitely before my son was born. I've had 2 Etsy shops. One Etsy shop was to sell amigurumis and that kind of thing, and the other shop was to sell yarn that I dyed. So this was from back in the day when I dyed yarn. I have one of the labels here. It's Superwash GK, like I mentioned. Just the basic info, and it's forest green. It's this one. This is the color. Very light green. And this one doesn't have a colorway name. This one actually I dyed a lot more recently. Probably the last 5-6 months, I would say. About, I don't know. No, it was more, probably in the last year or so I dyed this, because I was looking for this colorway to make something for my son, but I didn't find it. And I didn't make anything for my son because, as you guys know, like, my personal opinion is that superwash is definitely not machine washable, which is what I'm looking for whenever I'm making things, because again, washing by hand is not really a thing I want to do. So anyway, this is just the natural color of the wool, and then I just I want to say sparkled it. Speckled it with different greens, different tones of greens in there. So this is what it ended up like. As you can see, I definitely like this combination together. So whatever I make next with this yarn will probably be with the same combination of yarns. So let's see. Oh, well, so that is what I'm going to be working on next. Making something with that, or at least unraveling it. I still don't know what I'm gonna make next. Since I just finished the sweater, or his cardigan, and I'm still working on the pattern for next month to be released. I am actually in search of my next project, so I don't know what it is I'm making. I've been looking through some of my books. I've been looking through Ravelry as well. Do you guys have any suggestions? I have so much yarn that I can probably make anything, everything. And actually, you know what? I was wondering if I was gonna make something like spring related or whatever, like crochet. It could be crochet or knitted, like for house decoration. How do you guys decorate, if you do decorate? How do you guys decorate your house? Like, again, for spring or, you know, whatever. Because I still have some Valentine's decorations out. Not that I have that many, but it's just like maybe like a thing over my fireplace, and then I have like a couple of things hanging on my front door that have hearts on them. So I was just wondering, how do you guys decorate? Do you have any ideas or suggestions on me making something, again, knitted or crocheted? That would be awesome. Also, I was still thinking about what to make my son for his birthday, if anything. A decoration, definitely. Somebody mentioned, I think I mentioned this like a while back on, I don't know what video it was, that I wanted to make him something, as I usually did. I didn't know if it was going to be something wearable or just like a decoration for his room. Someone said to make like a mobile, you know, like the little hanging things where you hang, you know, like airplanes or something. Which that's a pretty good idea. But if you guys have kids, or maybe have seen some very cute, maybe very unique items to decorate, I don't want to say just a baby, like any kid's room, I would say. What is it? You want to give me some inspiration? That would be great. That's all. Thank you guys for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will be seeing you guys soon with another update, or to show you guys what I'm making. And don't forget to check out the links down below. You will find the link to my free pattern, the bow. Oh my gosh, the cowl. I forgot the name of it. The cowl pattern. Again, it is a free knitted pattern. You will also find my links to all my social media, to my Ravelry, to my Instagram. Instagram is actually where I post a lot of pictures and stuff of items I've made or whatnot. Probably before, you know, I've made a video about it. So if you guys want to check me out, go check me out down there in the link. Or I think actually, you know what, Instagram is not even a link. It just tells you my name, which is I'm Malonb. So, alright, that's all guys. See you guys later, and I'll see you soon. Bye.